British Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer is facing fresh controversy over his government's approach to post-Brexit energy and trade relations with the European Union. According to recent reports, Mr. Starmer is in talks with Brussels to seek closer cooperation on electricity markets, potentially including re-engagement with the EU's internal electricity system. Critics argue that this could amount to surrendering control of the UK's energy policy to EU oversight and impose tougher regulatory targets on British industry. Under the proposals now under discussion, the UK would align more closely with the EU's electricity market rules, a system that currently binds the bloc and Norway into a single integrated grid. To re-enter that market, London might agree to adopt renewables and carbon targets more in line with Brussels' agenda, pushing net zero commitments higher than existing UK plans. Opponents warn that such alignment could see British energy policy dictated by EU standards rather than set in Westminster. The energy debate comes at the same time as broader political tensions around the UK's relationship with the EU. Business groups have urged the government to deepen ties with Europe, arguing that friction in trade overall is hurting British exporters, especially smaller firms trying to sell into the EU market. A survey by the British Chambers of Commerce found that a majority of exporters view the post-Brexit trade arrangement as unsatisfactory, and there are growing calls within Westminster to consider rejoining the EU customs union to ease export barriers. Mr. Starmer insists his administration will keep key Brexit red lines intact, including refusing to rejoin the EU single market, customs union or free movement, while still seeking to reduce trade frictions and improve economic cooperation with the bloc. Downing Street says that a strengthened partnership with Brussels can benefit British businesses and consumers without reversing the UK's decision to leave the EU. Labour's Energy Secretary has made tackling climate change and ensuring secure, affordable power a central priority. Government spokespeople argue that closer alignment on electricity trading could help lower costs and attract investment, particularly as the UK seeks to expand renewable generation and meet its climate goals. They also maintain that no final deal has yet been struck and that negotiations will proceed through 2026. But opponents on the political right describe the move as a betrayal of the 2016 referendum vote to leave the EU, a vote whose promise was to take back control over laws, borders and policy. They argue that returning to EU-linked systems undermines that mandate, making Britain once again subject to rules set in Brussels. This dispute underscores how Brexit remains a potent fault line in UK politics, even more than 9 years after the referendum. As negotiations continue and more detail emerges, the debate over sovereignty, energy costs and Britain's place in the European economic landscape looks set to shape political discourse well into next year.